what I find interesting about Klimt and his work. So actually, on the occasion of his 150th birthday, there are a lot of art exhibitions in Austria focusing on Klimt, and so for Austrians it's maybe a bit boring because we are kind of overfed with Klimt, too much Klimt, all the time Klimt, like on, I don't know, on cups, on posters, everywhere is Klimt. But still I think if you dig a bit deeper, you will find out why Klimt is kind of interesting and also revolutionary in a way, because we have to see Klimt's work in the context of his time, when he produced those works, and also how his expressive style transformed during his lifetime. So I think that's also what this exhibition wants to show, how his expressive equipment changed over his lifetime. So at the beginning, he was kind of trained as an academic painter, and he had a kind of historic style. He did a lot of historical paintings when he started, but then his paintings got more and more abstract, and he used a different language. And also we have to consider the society at this time. It was Austria-Hungary, a huge empire which was at the end of at the beginning of the 19th century at a kind of point of decay. So the climate was kind of changing. So people got rid of this idea of unity of this huge empire, and in a way there was kind of focus on rationality during that period, and focus on capitalist thinking, and then the kind of modernist movement came, the Viennese modernists, who wanted to oppose this thinking with a turn towards kind of emotionality and nature, and that's what we can see in Klimt's work, his turn towards the natural, the female. The female was kind of symbolic for the natural, which is kind of ancient thinking. So Klimt was also criticized for that he keeps up this border between the natural female and the rational male. But still, at the beginning he painted a lot of allegories, where he also took this traditional form of the allegory and changed it with his own kind of attributes and symbols, and also his way to depict the female body and nudity was something very revolutionary in that time. So at the beginning we've got this focus on the female body. Maybe we should have a look at Nuda Veritas, which is a very important work, I think, because it represents this first phase in his work, where you can see the naked truth, Nuda Veritas, and where he also put this quote by Friedrich Schiller on top, and she's holding a mirror, the mirror of truth. So this also demarks this focus on the inner self, that only the inner self is the true the truth can only be seen in the inner self, and here we can also see this strong association Klimt has with Sigmund Freud. So this turn to psychoanalysis, where instinct is kind of the first time put into the focus of attention. So turning away from rationality, focusing more on the emotional, the natural, and the instinct. Yeah, and then hygienia. This was part of commissioned work Klimt did for the University of Vienna as a wall painting for the University of Vienna, where he also had to do these allegories, like this picture was a part of the allegory for medicine, hygienia, health, and this is a very interesting work because there's a story behind it. The story is that Klimt did this commissioned work, but it was shown in an exhibition at the Wiener Secession, and there a lot of professors and important people of that time came, and it was discussed a lot. And in the end, it was criticized because of its transformation of the traditional allegory. He didn't show it in the traditional way, and in the end, the work was not accepted, and it wasn't shown in the University of Vienna. In the end, at the World Fair in Paris, his work was awarded the first a grand prize, but after this scandal, or after this incident, Klimt kind of withdrawal from the public sphere. He turned to being more like a private person, and this is also when his style changed a lot. Even if the works of his later phases, like the Golden Face, are widely known or are the most famous works, these works are more like demarking a turn towards privacy, in contrast to his early works. So I think that's quite interesting. But still, for example, afterwards he didn't do any commissioned work anymore. This was his type of emancipation from the system, from the state-sponsored art, because it was kind of discussion about the freedom of art. So he turned to this kind of mentorship. So he had a lot of patrons, like, as we can see here, Adele Bloch-Bauer, who are kind of representatives of the wealthy who sponsored art. But for him it was kind of emancipation of the state system, of the state-funded art. So he wanted to emancipate himself from this type of art. And what we can see here is this more the focus on the background and on the environment than on the figure. Yeah? At the beginning he was focusing on the female body, but then he turned to showing the ornaments and this ornamental style.
Dear Deputy Mayor, Mr. Yen Chun-cho, dear Director of the Tainan Cultural Affairs Bureau, Mr. Ye Tse-shan, dear colleagues, dear guests. It's a very special honor for me to be here and celebrate with you the opening of 2 exhibitions of Austrian artists. First, the masterful reproductions of the artwork of Klimt, and second, the contemporary Austrian art from 21 Salzburg artists. Additional, we already heard some Austrian classical music, which was presented perfectly here by the students of Tainan Art University. And last but not least, we have, after this, also wines from Austria, which I brought from Vienna, my hometown. Now let me say a few words about Klimt. Although we celebrated last year the 150th birthday of Klimt, but Klimt is the founder of modern art, the founder of modernism, and so we are very happy to show you first of all Gustav Klimt here, the reproductions, and at the same time show you in the second hall modern artists from Austria. This can give you an impression where modern art was moving to. From Klimt, who was the founder of modern art 150 years ago, to these 21 Austrian artists from Salzburg, which present their modern art in the second hall. This will show you the long path of modern art and where it is now in Austria. And it shows you also that art scene in Austria is a very vivid and modern art scene which didn't stop with Klimt, but which continued and is still flourishing, as you can see in the artworks of the 21 Austrian artists. Let me say a few words about these reproductions. I was asked very often times since we brought these reproductions last year here to Taiwan, why reproductions? Well, the answer is very easy. First of all, most of these paintings, which you can see here, they are not available anymore to be seen except a few in Vienna. Some are destroyed in fire. Some are like the Stocklet frieze on the wall, so you cannot take it off. And some, like this painting, is not movable because it's in such fragile condition that it will not be taken away from its place in Belvedere in Vienna where it is now. So it's a once-in-a-lifetime occasion to see all these artworks which are otherwise not to be seen here in form of reproductions, but as you can see, it's really masterful reproductions. First of all, they are in the same size like the originals. Second, they are in the same colors like the originals, and they are on the same basis on canvas like the originals. The only difference, these artworks you can touch, you can make pictures even with flash, and you can come close to them. And this is what we want to bring to the guests here in Salon Cultural Center, artwork to be touched and to come near and to be seen. And I think it's a wonderful occasion, and I thank the cultural department of Tainan City and city mayor and vice mayor to give us this opportunity to show in this old sugar factory, which has become art center of Tainan, now the wonderful works, first of all of Klimt, and second of modern Austrian artists. I also want to thank Mrs. Grimmer, who was the curator of the exhibition of modern art. She put together these wonderful artworks of 21 young Austrian and from Salzburg artists, and she's here today. So thank you, Mrs. Grimmer. It was really good work, and I think people will really enjoy to see where modern art is standing today and now in Austria. So then I want to say thank you to all of you who came here to the opening reception, and hope to that you enjoy both of the exhibitions, and that we can have later a glass of Austrian wine and some snacks. Thank you.